Uh, and let's check the YouTube, make sure it's going up, and should be good to go. We're live. Mutant Epoch, the High Desert, Session 7, title to be determined through play. And I'll get the links out to the Discord and to X. All right, so first thing we were talking about is just before stream started was now it's session 7. Everybody really knows their characters a little bit better and trying to figure out where exactly we want narrative to go with them so that we can include that, or I can include that as scenarios in play to advance their narrative. And so we'll start with Rune with his 2 characters and how he wants to kind of like advance them, where he's kind of like understanding them.
Wait, what are we doing? Why am I starting? What?
Yes, you are going to start, and you're going to give like a narrative explanation, or sorry, like where you want your characters to go from this point going forward. Now that you know them better, and you kind of have an idea of like who they are, what they're going to do. Because there might be some of you that want to retire a character, like you find a place in the high desert to like, all right, this character's goal is to go to Greywater and open up a store and sit there.
Okay, well, I think it's pretty clear cut what Iliad would like for his development. Like his whole thing is he's going to continue to be a hydraulic knight, and with the discovery of Athena still being a thing, he has a new burning drive to potentially reconstitute them, especially since rumors of Bittertoe ruins having lights appear at them. So that's his big drive right now. He wants to get to Bittertoe, and he knows he could, there are going to be some people heading towards Greywater, so he'll probably just hitch a ride with them before heading towards Bittertoe. As for Connor, he's the more interesting one. His biggest thing is he wants to keep his friends alive. He would really rather go back to High Rise, but so long as Kit and Roos want to play adventurer, he feels this strange, compelling need to ensure their safety. Kit more so, less than Roos. He knows Roos can handle himself. But he doesn't like that Roos is entertaining Kit's idea of following the same footsteps of, trying to make it big as a sellsword, essentially, in the high desert.
So narratively for me as a GM going in, I should probably look at including a few other hydraulic knights and kind of like, or at least a legacy of them, rumors of them, to kind of pull Iliad in that direction, or at least give him something that is like a draw. For the other one, it's kind of going to be based off of like the interactions of a lot of the other characters and like how they're going to develop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one, just that guy.
That guy. Yeah. The one we never talk about.
Iliad is also like very, he's a charitable warrior, so like he's gonna help out where he can, and he's not even like, I'm sure he has a reputation of like he doesn't ask for payment either.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. Just looks for places. And as a hydraulic knight, I don't see any settlement here that's friendly to them or their memory is going to deny you access to things you need to maintain your body. And you're like, they would, if you were biological, they'd feed you, water you, because they know that one, they all owe their existences to the hydraulic knights, and two, there's probably still a couple hydraulic knights still operating out here that kind of keep that memory alive. They're just not organized anymore.
Right.
It's a whole kind of like rogue Jedi thing.
Exactly.
All right. Beans.
Cool.
How about your rabbit and your cyberized alter ego, Mira?
All right, 1 second.
Okay. You want me to go to somebody else?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thad, what do we got for Cinder?
Well, Cinder, I'm been enjoying playing him. At the beginning, when we were starting, I kind of viewed him as a possible candidate for the Hydraulic Knights. But he's enjoying shooting people in the back way too much. You know, that killer skill is so fun to use for him, and I just don't think he's got it in him to be a noble knight. He'd rather be a destroyer of evil that uses possibly questionable tactics to accomplish that. He still believes that, you know, he should put down people that victimize others and that you know, are doing things, you know, in a non-lawful way, but he's perfectly content to be non-lawful back on their ass to put them down, like the vermin they are. So I see him continuing to do that and being pretty happy with the lawlessness of the high desert and the threat of unity, which he does not agree with. He thought he would. He actually thought about joining Unity, but what he saw was not what computed for him as the right way. You know, so he still has some flashes of old programming that you know, remembers the old days, like pre-apocalypse. And as a result, anything that doesn't look like America doesn't look right to him.
Yeah.
And Unity does not look like a recreation of America. If it did, he would be instantly loyal. But he's not seen anything that even comes close to a reconstruction of America. So he's just kind of gonna wander the desert like Cain and you know, wander the earth until he finds a new America or confounded himself.
Okay, so Kung Fu, the journey continues.
There you go.
My name is Cain. I seek what?
Yes.
And then Rum Red.
Rum Red is a totally different you know, breed. I like the backstory of Rum Red. I like her motivations, but I just see her as more of a stay-at-home character that isn't going to want to do the same kinds of things that a lot of adventuring parties like to do. She had her most fun dealing with the Beatles and trying to teach them how to be better businessmen. She enjoys the idea of trying to learn how to be an herbalist, but that's a very hard thing to do in the high desert. And so she's heard some of the commentary of Connor and others about High Rise and said, hey, I think I want to go to High Rise and see what they do there, because it sounds like they have actual agriculture. And how am I supposed to be a herbalist without agriculture, without actual plants?
Yeah. Yeah, because it sounds like High Rise has got the algae vats. It's got its own hydroponics. Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's got all the stuff
and
that she'd be really
That's what's going to draw her,
in.
because herbalism was what her mom taught her. And it's one of the two most driving forces for her. The second one being a good business person. That's where her barter comes from. Her father was a merchant. And so she's drawing upon these two back elements, and she's not seeing how she can apply that in the current scenario. Okay. So she would rather go to someplace like High Rise and develop her herbalism so she can be a successful business person. And that's more of what she would view as successful, not digging up relics and getting bigger guns, which is what Cinder wants. Cinder wants big fucking guns.
Yeah, the bigger the better.
Bigger the better.
Okay. So for that one, I can see, again, it's easy to push the High Rise. We got a couple of characters, as we know, who are from there. And so we could probably tie that association back together. And then we have some like secret things for other characters coming in. That'll be good to actually like initiate and start introducing some of the deeper political machinations of the high desert. And we have actually 2 characters that have some deeper political connections to like the movement going on in the desert itself. One below the desert, one above. Speaking of rabbits, so Beans, you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
So what do we got for Rhea and Mira?
So Rhea, her main kind of quest right now is she's convinced that there's kind of a way to bring her sister back out of being a digital being. So her whole kind of escapade here is basically just moving and grooving through the high desert, trying to find someone who might be able to assist her with that, find out if information she is. She's not going to give up on that. So her main things are basically just trying to acquire more money, more power, more connections. So she's going on, she's appreciating having some extra fire in regards to having a group with her, but for the most part, she's been kind of going solo for the last year. Mira, on the other hand, is mostly just chaperoning her sister, Rhea.
Yeah.
I mean,
In her
kind of
way.
had no choice being stuck in the hollow projector. But
That now
she's
has a
kind of a-
malicious virus in it.
yeah, we gotta get that thing out. I want to use that on something.
Yeah.
But
With the Lissa virus in it.
she's kind of accepted her fate and what she's become, and so she's mostly just kind of sticking with her sister. Well, obviously out of familial bond, but also to kind of give her a sense of purpose. And she's just kind of preparing for the eventuality when her sister dies. So she's just kind of setting up for the future.
Okay. So what about Mira's like getting upgrades to the chassis?
She would be interested in that. She's kind of going both ways. She wants more physical power, but also more sway in the digital space, we'll say. So having that AI core might have some fun things going on there.
Yeah, probably get like a better body to maybe some more implements, things to work with, and tools, materials. Because upgrades, they're everywhere in the high desert.
Exactly. She wants more power, basically be able to help keep her sister alive.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. All right. So 2 locations, big locations I'd see for Mira are high rise, since it's a literal pillar in the middle of this chaos between Tetanus Valley and Whitehole and Unity, and it's standing on its own. So they have to either have ability or tech, or both. That's keeping them, and also they have the sand sea, the silt that keeps them protected. But that can't be the only reason why they're still standing without any outside influence messing with them. And they represent a possible like treasure trove of technology or ability. And also there's other rabbits there that apparently Faulty's characters have killed. Greywater's another location because it's just a large trade hub that there's a lot of information. A lot of people move back and forth in there, and there's just always resources to pull from that area. And then there's the 86 further into the east, which is the robot. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a like resettlement refugee camp / like weird artist freehold. They're hippies. They're hippie robots. There's a bunch of hippie bots live there.
Oh, I was going to say, that sounds like a good place to go for, people who know about robotics, but...
Yeah, they make guns. They really like making guns. That's where all the Zap guns come from. So from there, we got Ara, your 2 characters. I know you haven't had too much time getting to play them and experience them, but you got an idea?
Yeah. Well, Argo, as he is kind of a scientist, but also he definitely views himself more of an adventuring scientist instead of one that just sits around, stays in a lab the entire time. He wants to explore and experiment on things. Wants to learn how everything ticks, how you can better just make anything he wants. And also make gunpowder.
Yeah, Argo's a pretty good free agent for as far as like just grabbing technology and seeing what he can do with it next.
Yeah.
He, with a little bit I know about him already, he kind of gives me mad scientist vibes.
Yep.
Like
Mad scientist of a sniper.
yeah, exactly.
Which
Like
I plan to slowly beef him up so he can bloody use some giant massive sniper round. So hopefully that eventually, oh hey, he can do a shit ton of damage with only one shot.
So it sounds like you and I going forward for him like need to create like a DOS rifle.
Yes.
Just this like
Ooh,
super
yeah.
sick magnetic charged like slug thrower that literally he's just sitting up there like calculating distances, speed, dropping some sand in the wind. Like yeah, that's about right. You just hear the whining charge, and then you don't actually hear a discharge of the round. You hear the sound barrier being broken multiple times, and it's something just getting ripped open.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And then he'll also make sure to have a second one that he likes to overcharge.
Yeah, overcharge it. Yeah, I like that. More power.
Yeah,
It's like-
risk the weapon being broken, but you get double the damage.
Yeah, 80% isn't good enough. It's 100% or nothing.
Exactly.
I like it. Now, how about Whiskey Tango?
Whiskey Tango. Well, he sees himself. Well, now that he's getting more sentience, he's definitely seeing himself as a good little warbot.
Good little warbot. So he's like protecting Argo.
Yes, and also making sure he can get some big ass fucking weapons. Be a murder machine.
I like they're working hand in hand with each other. Bigger guns.
Yes.
Were you able to get us new CPU for WTF?
Yeah, we did.
We never installed it.
I would.
think you had to break the encryption or something. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
basically you have to jailbreak it to be able to get it to work in your head, and we failed at doing that for one night.
Yeah, you
And
weren't
so-
there. I had to roll for you.
Yeah, so
yes.
it just needs to be attempted again. That's all. And
Okay.
and it could have been
No,
done. It could have been
The
done the previous
percentage-
night.
Yeah, the percentage chance wasn't real great, so you're going to have to boost your computer to, if you can't get lucky.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that sounds just fine.
Okay, cool. I got two more
Well,
people.
you've
to
been
go through.
using computers, so you got all the basis in the world to pour points
Yeah, to
into
put
it.
points into it.
Yeah.
We got Faulty. Give me a 2.
Yeah, I think Kit and Bruce's ideals are a little similar to each other. I think they just play off of each other. So, personally, for me, I'm actually curious of all the other locations that you have on this map here. So, if
Oh yeah,
we do something where they both are able to explore more, which is most likely what's going to happen, I think they will both be all for that because, I mean, Roos is about getting money, right? And Kit is also about getting money. I imagine that in High Rise, Kit wasn't finding like a lot of good, lucrative opportunities, and that's kind of what her motivation was in terms of going with Roos. So that's how they ended up in this situation now. And I think over time, it's going to evolve into something a little more complex than just, you know, being motivated by coin. So I don't know, I guess I'll see like what other characters have in store and I'll just go off of that.
Okay.
as a player versus a character, Tim, let me just say that I totally agree with what was being said about exploring the map. You know, you have this fascinating map and these fascinating names for places and little icons, like, the spherical thing above Unity and the ship above Unity. We haven't figured out what those are.
No,
but they sure
don't
look
know yet.
they sure look fucking interesting to me. So,
Like we
you know,
can. I thought it was gonna be bugs, and then it was one of the people here. Was it you that created the bugs for? Yeah, Colossus was you.
yeah, Colossus was me.
And so, like, I almost think like that's another breakaway faction of the bugs.
And it could be. I also thought there ought to be some underground factions for the bugs, and also like a mole person faction competing with the rabbits for, holding their own in the underground warrens.
We've got we've got stuff.
Poor Morty.
Well, that's what I know. You've implied that, but that's why I was like, I don't know if it's more than rabbits or if it's just the rabbits.
Oh
you
no,
know?
it's not just the rabbits. It's all sorts of people. The rabbits just have their own, like, what would you call them, Beasley? You call it almost like Macbeth style, like, politics going on.
Something like that.
Yeah.
See, you got the rabbit hole. I want to figure out some interactions with the underground. You know,
Yeah.
I may not like those interactions, and we may run away screaming, but I want to at least sample them.
Okay, and then last but not least, we have some pumpkin noises and a miner.
Well, Ronan's actually quite content just traveling with people. I mean, his whole purpose right now is to he's trying to suss out people that he can bring back. That's a good question. Because Cole originally just wanted to get the hell away from Unity.
Yeah.
Like he was already a conscript slave, so he's trying to get away from them.
I would say it was like the burning of the green wall and the creation of the dead was such a devastating moment for the plantoids in the region, and just kind of like seen as a general betrayal that I could see like why there'd be hesitancy to introduce people to the city in the Hidden Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it puts the whole group at risk because there's a lot of those plantoids who have no combat capability.
Yeah. That's also why Ronan was selected for this adventure, is that he was the most combat capable of them. Also able to survive in the arid desert,
arid
no issue.
And what was it, Cole? What was he going to be doing?
I really don't know with Cole, to be honest. Like, his whole objective was to get the hell away from Unity. But now knowing that Unity is also hit up in some places far south as copper dust for people, I'm not entirely sure what he'd want to do.
Does he want to fight back or does he want to keep running?
I mean, at this point, he'd probably be trying to keep running.
Yeah. Keep running, keep moving away from Unity's inclusion, or try to find out what they're doing next. So is his focus then on self-preservation, or does he want to get back at Unity?
Honestly, it's self-preservation. I mean, that's why he wears what he's wearing and whatnot. He killed the mine foreman when he tried to kill him after a cave-in. That's why there's a pickaxe hole in the helmet. He killed the guy, stole his shit, and left so that it would cover up all of his markings.
Well, there's the whole eastern side of the high desert that's more away from Unity.
Yeah, it doesn't really have any of Unity's influence yet in the east. It's only in the west where you feel that. And in the west is where you have the larger powers too. What's up, Beans?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought it was the opposite. I thought the east side was more towards Unity.
No, the east side is more independent. Unity's in the west. Unity's actual exercise of control is limited by Whitehole. And
it's right there on the map. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. But what Unity is able to do is it has trade negotiation. It has trade treaties with everybody. And so it's a lot of its goods are entering into the local populations. So Colossus, Greywater, Copper Dust, even 86 has Unity supplied goods. Well, you already saw Unity pattern ammunition coming out, which was cased ammunition. You see Unity pattern laser batteries. There's even at least an effort to do a little bit of what the Hydraulic Knights were doing by taking down large threats. But Unity is also demanding, tribute. And the tribute isn't egregious yet, but it is harming the smaller settlements. Like Copper Dust is well established, but it probably couldn't pay the tributes that's already paid. Again, it would die. And as far as what is its use to Unity, manpower. That's the only thing Copper Dust can supply it. It's the only type it can offer. It's just a hole in the side of a cliff face in the middle of the desert, just scratching out survival out of the dust. Whereas High Rise actually has access to technology. and seems to be a lot of it. Not to mention, there's ruins out here in Lost Soul, the uncovered parts of that city. Not to mention in the mills, and you have Rabbit Hole, and you have a lot of the technology that was inside the Deadwoods that the Plantoids had in that area. That's also all untouched. And then there's the weird mysteries of the feeding grounds, and all of the horrors of the fog that come out in the East. That's the other problem too. Is the East has the fog. The West doesn't. When you get over Greywater, you come in contact with the fog. And the fog emanates from Lost Soul. Most people seem to believe, or at least it comes out of the Northeast. And it blankets the entire eastern part, and the mountains here protect the West from it. But just maddening creatures come out of the fog. And that creature you guys fought, Gold Eater, is an example of a fog-born monster.
I'm so interested in Lost Soul.
Yeah.
It's a weird location, and the caravan route goes right through it too. So there's people go through it, and they survive, obviously. But it's definitely one of those places where it's kind of like just a weird mystery what's actually going on in that city, and how it's constructed, and what's underneath it. Because even if you go to the Underwarrens, that whole area is blocked off. Nobody goes there. Okay, so starting here, we had an incident last week where Kit almost got her head shut off.
Yes.
She hunted down some rabbits. We found a bunch of locations where rabbit raiders had been tapping into Copper Dust's power grid, water supply, food, resources, and had been just basically just skimming off the top, taking just enough where people could have attributed it to like bad accounting, theft inside the town itself, and but now they've been caught and they've been uncovered. You haven't had any conflict with them after that initial contact where they managed to escape, but you have seen them out on the sands, and so they got a rabbit hole somewhere. They've got some way to they have some place where they're having to shelter. And that could be a concern now that they've lost access to their food and water. It's gonna make them desperate. And so the question really comes down to: is this a problem you guys want to deal with, or do you want to leave it to Copper Dust's, able-bodied steel head of security to hey, this is on you, buddy. Good luck.
Well, I mean, personally, I feel like we should move on just because, we've kind of done all that we can here. But I mean, if there is money involved.
Is Kip going to ask for money?
You know what? Actually, Kit will go to steal. What time is it?
Well, if Kit's awake,
it'll be late.
Yeah. And Steele is he's a light sleeper. He has to be up all the time in the middle of the night, coordinating all sorts of stuff. The man never has a full 8 hours.
I thought you were gonna lean up with the way the way you opened it. It was Kit was just staring at him while he's sleeping.
Yeah, wake up.
It just seemed like a pair of eyes. It's like, oh.
Holy shit! God, creepy. Do you want to just kind of go up on him like that, where he's sleeping in a chair, over at the inside the radio, the Ant Farm's radio room?
Sure.
So it starts in there where he's passed out in a hammock that's up next to one of the radio stations. They've somebody's got the little headset on and the dials, and they're listening back to comm chatter back and forth, just monitoring the airwaves. And there's just Kit standing over him, a shadow from the electric, the sodium lighting.
Yeah, Kit's actually she's in that mental state where she's like, do I want to poke him or do I say something? And she actually does reach out a dainty finger and kind of gently prods his shoulder.
He opens up one bleary eye, and he just like mutters, "Is like, oh shit, what now?"
Howdy.
He coughs a few times. Gets up, sits himself up, and leans against the concrete wall. He's like, "All right, lay it on me."
You have a rabbit problem, friend.
He's like, he rubs the stubble on his face. You know, that 5 o'clock shadow that's now a 2 a.m. shadow. 2 a.m. stubble. Yeah, it's. And he looks over at one of his men, who points at a plastic sheet, and he pulls it over towards him, and printed on it is like a report that is like the rundown of all the things that you had found along with the guards going around.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, wiretaps, power draws.
Mm-hmm.
They even plugged into the water supply. He's already standing up. It's like, what is this for shit?
Yeah.
5 rabbit holes?
Oh, you need a moment, friend?
No, just, oh god, it's just one pile of shit after another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a rabbit problem. Wait a minute, you're from High Rise.
I am, yeah.
What do they do about your rabbits?
Oh, well, wait, is Raya with her?
Yeah, she take along, sure.
She kind of looks at her, and she looks back at Steel, a little uncomfortable.
So, Rhea, this is a moment where you were just associated with bandits just because they're rabbits. That's kind of, it's a bit dehumanizing.
She's feeling deeply offended, but she's cool on the outside. Didn't hurt at all.
That shit's beastest.
Beastest. He looks at Rhea again, and she's kind of like, well, you know, they often employed me to trap them. I don't know what they did with them after.
Steel grins and he rubs his chin again, looking down at Rhea. Hey, don't be shy in front of the sand bunny. That's not a bunny. That's not a rabbit raider. That's Rhea.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think she's a part of them. It's just that I don't want to scare her, because often the traps that I would use are a little,
What, Tanglefoot? Slip hairs?
Lethal.
Bear traps? Toe tracks?
Traps.
Yeah,
Poison?
come on out with it. I'm interested.
No, I don't have a problem with the rabbits. I have many rabbit friends. Yeah, okay, Kit, just hurry up.
Kit. Oh, what do you got, Kit?
so when they're digging, I make like a sinkhole, and they fall in, and they
Sinkholes.
impale themselves on spikes.
A pit trap?
That's kind of brutal. Well, it'd be too easy for one of the townspeople to fall into a pit trap, so I wouldn't want to do that. Don't have too many limited access zones in the town. As you've seen, pretty much everybody can get the access to almost anything they want to.
I mean, I do other things too, like Slipknot.
They're small.
Right.
They're moving quick. Some monofilament wire would probably do them up pretty good, or at least stagger one of them long enough, cause a panic, attach a couple bells to it. Works
That's
for
it?
sneak. Yeah, it works for sneak thieves.
Yeah. That's nothing. You know, down in the Warrens, we actually have this gas, and it makes it turn your lungs into liquid, and you puke them out. And then some of us come in with flamethrowers and burn out the ones who didn't die on their own fluids.
Steel looks a little green at that, like, ooh.
So does Kit. Kit's like,
That is brutal.
That sounds humane. Well, what you're doing, I mean.
God.
I mean, I also sold the fur after.
She kind of like pinches her own fur. Is like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, Steele's like points at her like, that's fucked up. That's like skinning a human and selling the leather. Oh my god.
We get cold.
Yeah, I mean it does get cold, but you know what? Fair enough. Fair's fair. And then he looks at Rhea. He's like, you don't really look like your fur would be good for wearing, though.
Rhea is more scruff than fluff.
You'd be surprised, actually. A lot of the robots really like it.
No, I just mean Rhea doesn't groom herself properly.
Hasn't had a bath since she's been here.
I saw a couple of the raiders one time strip themselves of all of their armor just outside the wall and roll around in the dust. And I was like, what are they doing? And we had a beast human here, a mole man. He's going up to Greywater, and he was like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like in the pumice. They get rid of mites, like fleas and stuff. It helps lift the fur and remove sweat. And then they comb it out afterwards. I was like, yeah. I actually gave it a try. It doesn't work on humans. Does not work at all.
I don't think that would. But your rabbit problem?
Yeah, rabbit problem. What? You have a suggestion?
Well, we have a rabbit. She looks down at Red.
Looks up.
You could definitely help me with snuffing them out.
You've got the person like out the comms who just mouths like, you just can't say that. Like, wow.
They're people now.
I don't like this kid slander, guys.
They're not people.
You're the one saying it.
You're the one doing this to yourself.
You're making yourself into a bad person.
I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed at how deep you can dig without a pickaxe.
I love how nervous Kit is about the whole situation. Like, I don't want to offend anybody, but like, it's gonna get offensive.
Like, it's out of a place of sincerity, but it's so damn funny to watch because of how awkward it is. It's like, wow.
Go on, tell me how you
So
really
much
feel.
easier to rib. Like, it's like, man, I don't even have to like stick my elbow out. You're walking into it.
Poor girl.
You can see like the mischievous grin on Steele's like in his eyes, and he's just sitting there like, all right, we'll stop picking on you. So Rhea, you figure you can communicate with the rabbit raiders that are out there?
I mean, I can give it a try. Took a shot at us. Well, a kid here, I suppose.
Oh yeah, they almost killed me.
Was it?
Matter of factly.
Steele gets serious for a moment. He looks at you like, was it intentional?
Yeah? What do you mean? Normally when people point a gun at you, they're gonna kill you, right?
No, that's not what I meant. I'm saying, was the gunshot intentional, or was it because you surprised one of them?
Oh, I did kind of sneak up on them. I don't think they thought that I would see them.
All right,
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt.
No.
Did you take a shot at them?
Oh yeah, I missed though.
No, he nods. Good. All right, then we at least have a fire and return fire. I can work with that. Nobody harmed. Both sides took a shot at each other. We can let bygones be bygones and move the negotiation away from that.
Yeah.
I can't have raiders outside my walls picking apart my defenses over the next several days, especially if I'm going to be dealing with another visit from Unity, not to mention whatever caravans are coming up and down the road. If we can come to some kind of agreement, I could talk to the U4, and I'm fairly certain we can find some way to include them. I mean, they were stealing the rations already, and it didn't hurt us, so I can kind of figure they don't need that much. I'd rather have them in the walls where I can keep my eyes on them rather than outside the walls sneaking in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want this to go diplomatic?
I want you to at least try diplomatic first. Resources are resources, and people with access to ability and skill are hard to come by. So try to negotiate, try to talk with them, see if they have needs and wants, and if they can at least, we can come some kind of settlement. If not, wipe them out. I'll pay for every cottontail you bring back.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
All right, and so he's like, all right, now I would really like to get more than 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm wide awake.
I can understand you have a condition. No. All right. You know what? As he points to his staffer that's on the comms. Rouse up one of the other guys from gate duty. Bring him back over here. I'm actually going to go into my hooch and crash out, and I'm locking the damn door. He just gives him a little two-fingered salute, and Steel steps off.
There's rabbits about.
I'll come get you in an hour.
He gives you a one-finger salute as he proceeds to his room. And so, yeah, what do you do now?
So is the party like just staying in? Like, is there an inn in town where everybody's like staying at?
No, there's no inns. There's just open domiciles because there was a lot of rooms available from when a lot of the young people were picked up in the Tithe to go to Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there's just rooms with air conditioning, moisture seals, access to water and power.
Okay. I guess you could walk Rhea back to wherever she was sleeping.
No, she was just hanging out on the walls. But yeah.
Oh, so she was doing what Kit was doing.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
Kit, you think you can pick up their trail, or are we going to need someone else for that?
I mean, I could try.
Do you have an experience? I mean, out here, it's just a bunch of dust. Don't think the footprints are going to stay for very long.
I mean, we could get Connor. I'm not really much of a tracker, if I'm honest, but he definitely is.
If he did, okay, you have to go get him.
Fucking Naruto runs.
Yeah. Gross. I think you guys know is Cinder a tracker as well? And it's either Ronan
I'm
or
pretty sure.
Yeah, I think Ronan and Cinder are both trackers, right?
Yeah, I'll have to look, but I'm pretty sure.
Connor is also a tracker.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no
know.
trackers.
No, I'm just like, you have a few trackers to like improve the chances of the skill being successful.
Somebody better be a tracker, because Rhea does not want to work with Drogo.
So,
Oh. Well, yeah, she could get, she'll get Ronan and Connor too.
so rousing Connor, what's that look like? Connor, where is he crashed out?
Just where wherever Roos would be at as well. Just crash out next to him.
Just find a
eyes.
horizontal surface.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Cinder is not an expert tracker. He's got a 1.
Okay.
Pair of eyes staring at Connor as he sleeps.
Just after a few seconds of her doing that, just Connor's eyes slowly open and like, what do you want, Kit?
Ah,
I hate that I can feel your eyes on me.
sorry. We have a rabbit problem, and I need your expertise to pick up the trail.
Connor sits up and looks around for his gear to start kind of getting what he'd need together. Didn't you use the glue trap?
Glue trap.
I don't have any glue on me.
He's the glue trap. Oh man, it's okay. In my mind, I had this picture of here's Connor racked out. He's got one of those like wool blankets. You got the quiet hum of the air conditioner unit running, just keeping the room warm, and you just got Kit with her like little shiny black eyes staring at him, and he's just like wakes up and he just pulls the blanket up to his chin like sparing. I'm like, my God.
I figure he's used to this by now.
Yeah,
as,
right.
Yeah, they grew up together, so it's like
yeah.
he's used to her weird habits of staring at people.
The creepiness. It's like a cat coming into a room.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, he'll grab his trusty pitchfork and his ranged weapon, whatever he chooses. He has a zap gun and a musket. Oh.
Oh god, so you got Ronan who's like walking around the city waving to people while drinking out of his human face water skin. Yeah, that's gonna get some looks. Not from the Beatles. The Beatles are gonna be quite interested in it.
The hyena sapiens dropped it.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else wanted to get out of it.
How many
That's right.
rabbits do you got out there?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I spooked one, but there's a bunch of them. There's like 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of holes around here. Is all I'm saying.
Well, they should probably get some extra hands. Is what I'm trying to get at, Kit. Like,
I'm getting the pumpkin.
okay, go get the pumpkin.
Freaking can't. I'm getting the pumpkin.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on.
Right.
So Ronan's around the. He's kind of.
He's
waltzing
just
around.
wandering aimlessly and shows up when needed. Tweet, 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 tweet.
Get the pumpkin.
I imagine they'll happen upon him at some point.
Offering his booger sneeze to a guard, apparently.
Ew. With like pumpkin seeds.
It's pumpkin goop. It's the same shit he pulls out of his eyeball.
Yeah.
It's like one of the guards. It's some kind of like half human hybrid that's standing there. Like the armor doesn't like the guard's standard uniform doesn't fit him exactly that well. And like a couple of the people who would walk past on patrol were like, "Nah, I'm good, but thank you." Or this one's like, "Absolutely."
Happy.
Smells faintly like meat.
Ugh.
A little bit.
No, the person does. They have like a meat, like a slightly spoiled meat smell to them.
Ew.
It's a half skull.
You.
Wait a minute. How would Ronan tell everyone his name? Would he like write it out in the sand?
Ronan can read and write.
He's
And apparently do math
pumpkin
somehow.
flesh.
A very smart pumpkin. Yeah, so I guess
One of the older trees taught him.
Literacy rates in the high desert are going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, I guess Kit will approach Ronan.
Ronan
Well, hi there, little jack-o'-lantern. What you up to?
Ronan just dead eye stares at their completely blank, empty, hollow eyes looking at Kit while drinking out of the face water skins.
She blinks.
Tilt head.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
You're a tracker, right? I mean, we got a little rabbit problem, and
Big's pumpkin head.
yeah,
Some random rattling sound.
yeah. You like hunting, don't you?
Big's head.
Oh,
Oh no, nods. Like enthusiastically so.
yeah. Well, you want to do some rabbit rustling?
Is Rhea around?
Why is everyone specious?
Yeah, sure, she's a rap.
Ronan just walks up and grabs her by the wrist. Points at her.
Yeah, wrong rabbit.
Puts head down.
Yeah, no,
Nods
not that
again.
one. Yeah, we're trying to find a trail. I guess we could go back to where they first showed up. She's like scratching her head.
Nods head.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go back to where she initially encountered the one that fucking almost took her head off.
So you come up to that section of the wall where you have that dig from the ball bearing, and then passing over by a glint from one of the spotter lamps actually catches it in that that shot is embedded in the concrete still.
Hey, that's where I almost lost my face.
Ray will dig that out of the wall.
So just like a couple seconds with your knife, just kind of like chipping around at the concrete, which is crumbly and kind of comes away pretty easily.
Yeah.
And you're able to dig it out. This solid shot of steel. I mean, obviously deformed a bit in places after striking the wall, but I mean, it's got some heft to it. It's got the equivalent of like a 50 caliber round.
Good lord.
She hucks it over to
Great.
Connor.
Oh, I was actually gonna say Connor isn't with them quite yet. He's let's say he's gonna look for Cinder because he remembers Cinder is pretty good at that kind of stuff, and he's also pretty good at killing. And Connor doesn't know the full extent of like the interaction with rabbits, so in his mind, it's like, oh, we're gonna go kill rabbits. Maybe we should grab that guy I see shooting things to death with a pistol.
Good call.
No, he's good at it.
I mean, if Cinder was nearby, he would have been tapping his foot to try to quote unquote wake him up.
I'm back.
Where
you're
we've
back.
where we've got like Argo inside like the machine room with Whiskey Tango's like brain open on a table somewhere.
Very accurate.
Ew.
Doing careful surgery.
Yeah, Cinder would probably be nearby to make sure that everything goes good for Argo because they still have a little bit of an alliance going on. And of course, Cinder doesn't actually sleep. He pretends to sleep sometimes, but he doesn't actually sleep.
Right.
So Connor, you would come into. You don't mind me doing that to saying that Argo is basically operating on Whiskey Tango to try to get that CPU upgrade in.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was wanting to do.
Okay. And so that's where you'd find, these three, like inside one of the med bay / machine shop.
So as Connor enters, his face kind of falls to a scowl at the sight of Whiskey Tango before he looks to Cinder. Cinder would pick up a feeling of disgust off Connor, but not like you icky, but more like, the anger kind.
Right.
But anyway, he goes on to say, hey, Cinder, we might have a job going on if you're interested.
Always interested in work.
I'm not sure I should say, about any pay, but I guess we got a rabbit problem around town and we're looking to hunt them down.
If nothing else, it's target practice.
Argo, you too, if you want to come with, and
Sweet!
sure, there's stuff you could.
We'll be done in like maybe 30 minutes, tops.
Okay.
He says it as sparks start flying and starts yelling.
Yeah.
Again, there's just that brief moment of how he gives Whiskey Tango that same kind of look again before just leaving.
So I haven't emphasized this, but let me remind people that Cindervale appears to have a cybernetic arm. One of his arms is a multi-tool arm, and so it does not appear human. It appears robotic or cybernetic. And so he'll also reach up and tap his eyes and say, well, if we got to operate at night, I've got 100-meter night vision installed. He points at his eye like it's a cybernetic implant.
That might be useful, yeah, okay.
Who's got the
Cold
long
out there, but I've got thermal cloak. And
Oh, yeah, I probably should bring your thermal cloaks, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know where we're going.
I'm ready.
Who's got the long gun with the thermal sights?
Oh, shit, was that Roos?
I don't know who had the thermal sight.
I should probably wake up Roos, too.
I've got one of the long guns, but I don't know if I didn't write down thermal sight.
There was two long guns that were intact, and they had what's that? Desert charge shotgun gun, 500-meter range thermal and night vision scope.
One of them did, or both of them did?
Both of them did.
Oh,
The one that got
well, I should've wrote
destroyed
that
was
down.
the one that was destroyed actually belonged to the eagle mutant that didn't need either. It didn't need a
Mm-hmm. Oh,
scope,
yeah.
so he didn't have one.
He shot him with a cannon or something.
Yeah.
So
He's
tell me
the
that
one.
again. 500 meter.
Yeah, 500 meter thermal and night vision scope. I'll actually take the whole text body from the document and I'll just paste it into the chat.
Sweet.
Just to interject, Rodin gave Ray a thermal eye lens attachment for like a helmet. Would that basically just use the same stats as this, or
Yeah, use the same
it wasn't a
stats.
scope? I got that wrong. Actually, it was just like an eyepiece.
Yeah, half kilometer.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
Yeah, you got your team.
Yeah, they're just assembling.
Check out.
So Roos isn't here.
Connor would offer him to come with. Is that the sound he makes at that?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
can't. He's
Just
like,
eat
I'm
meat.
sleeping. Yeah.
Lazy fat bastard. Fine.
So let's redo that scene then with the shot with Kit and Rhea.
Oh,
Yeah. So she would have dug that bullet out, and I guess since Cinder is here now, does Cinder, he has a dog, right? Or is that all Red?
Oh, yeah. No. Cinder has 2 dogs, and Red has 1.
All right, he bring him with.
Sure.
All right, she's gonna huck then the bullet over to Cinder and be like, "Hey, I don't know if one of your dogs can pick up a scent off this, but it might be better than looking for footprints in the dark."
I don't comment about the fact that I probably have a better sense of taste with my super tongue than the dogs. So I will sample the scent on it, but make a show of showing it to Shadow and Sunshine.
I'm gonna preface, we're not immediately killing them. We need to kind of be a little diplomatic. And
So
then,
leg shots. I can do leg shots.
No, not
If
that,
it comes to that,
not that kind of diplomatic.
I thought you wanted prisoners.
Steele said that we should be a little more diplomatic and what else did he say? Well, anyway, if it gets out of hand, then we can.
All right. I got the electric man catcher. I'll use that.
Connor will
He's
start
more practiced with it
inspecting the
anyway.
area as well, as he's quite familiar with these type of tracks.
another question: do any of you have any sort of gas mask?
Is that? Oh,
Actually, I think Cinder might. He doesn't need it, but he has it.
Because if you don't, you might want to stand back a little bit.
He's got that special helmet that he came with.
Yeah, I'll just check out, I guess. Starts walking.
I'll.
He's got a combat helmet with a built-in gas mask.
So yeah, whatever that tracking roll is.
All right, so you pop up on the other side of the wall, go up around the through the gate guards, salute you through, and you come up onto the side where the bolt hole was, where Kit almost got her brains blown out. There are plenty of deep tracks going from the hole, well, the plugged hole, along the rock face, and then up and over some of the sand dunes, up onto the other, like just disappearing over the top. You've got a lot of rock face, a lot of difficult terrain that they could have tracked over onto. Thankfully, it's been blasted by this pumicey sand and the silica and the ash for years and years and years, so a lot of it's worn down a bit, but it's still not terrain that you necessarily want to cross. It's It's just very rough, and the footing's difficult, especially at nighttime, unless you've got either really good familiarity with it, or there's like a pretty established path. So make those rolls.
I did. I got a 32 versus 48, which to my read is a type G perception test. You just look at tracking.
Yeah,
And that's, of course, without the fact that I got the super scent type thing going on.
Yeah, that you
For sure I
paired,
got it too.
that you gave to one of your dogs to kind of like get a sniff on.
Yeah, well, like I said, I made a show of that, but
Yeah.
I have better scent than my dogs do. So,
So there's some machine lubricant that you could still get off of the metal,
mhm.
and it's not like the lubricants you guys are using on your laser weapons.
Okay.
It's closer to a, and it's also not like a firearms machine lubricant. It's not like CLP or CLR. Yeah, CLP. It's got a different odor to it. If you ever had smelled CLP, it's very unique. And this is not it. This is more like a petroleum.
So even without enhanced sensory, he would have made a pickup trail for untrained. As it is, with his one tracking, he makes a D, or definitely is better than a D, and that's what's needed to pick up a trail.
Unless I'm taking a really big penalty, Connor also got it.
You're not taking any penalties then.
Oh, then he definitely got it.
Yeah, you have the assistance of people with NVGs, and the trail is pretty good. It's clear. It's a clear night out, and off the sand, off like this like white, ashy sand, you got a good reflection. You can see pretty well. So, rising up over the top, you're able to pick up the trail and find that it disappears into the cliffs after about 200 yards. Now, it doesn't take much to notice it. Now, who's got the thermals?
Cinder has one.
Reyes got one.
He will be scanning through the site to augment his 100-meter night vision.
There is a heat source just at the beginning where the rabbits had crossed over onto the cliffs. It's small and localized, and it seems to be coming from a group of rocks that have been stacked on top of each other. So probably a holdover battery to keep some other thing like operating during the cold night, like a heater.
Right.
And the insulation's leaking a little bit.
So that's like a security device, perhaps?
Could be.
What would be a good skill to roll versus to try to, speculate as to what kind of security device it might be?
Intelligence.
I look at Argo because Cinder's not that techy.
If you got a military background, you can no roll. You just get it.
Oh, well, Cinder does have some military. I mean, he's more SWAT than military, but it's considered a military subcategory.
Yeah, considering his background, we're definitely gonna go with surveillance. Like he'll know what this is probably. But any other characters?
Yep.
Do the Underwarren's military count?
Yes, the Underwarren Wars are military.
Then Ray might also know.
Okay. So that looks to be, it's probably some kind of passive scanner. Seismic is really popular. Because if they've got a information sorter on the opposite end of that, it'll tell them what it is that's coming through with a fair amount of accuracy. Because it's just going to listen for, it's going to filter out all the random sounds of the sand and the wind and distant noises, and it's listening for, the clatter of your equipment on your bodies. Those small metal to metal contacts, your foot striking the stone, moving across the sand, those regular rhythmic patterns of movement. Now, these things don't usually have a really great range, but you're probably have already been picked up by it.
Fuck.
Damn. Oh, shit. The thumper tracker.
Thumper tracker? Let's go into the document now. It's an official name.
What would be the outcome of shooting this?
You would hit the insulating rocks around it.
So I couldn't take it out with a shot, I don't think.
You would overload its sensor probably and scramble it.
That's what I would like to do.
I want a rabbit character named Thumper now. Make it happen.
Yeah.
You said Thumper Tracker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going into the documentation now. I just had it as seismic sensor. Now it's a Thumper Tracker.
It's actually for me.
It's for Thumper. This party's slowly going to have more and more rabbit characters and just getting more and more uncomfortable.
Yep.
What's the noise from a long gun? Is it loud? To discharge an energy weapon? I don't know.
No, it doesn't really have. The zap guns are pretty loud because of the magnetic discharge and just the sound of it, like any kind of atmosphere being burned by as the charge moves through that. So it's a crackle noise, but it's not as loud as a gun.
Okay.
It's much more localized, much more muted.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like the name implies, a zap.
Yep. Remind me again why there's variable strike values for this.
For the long gun?
Please, I see
the long
charging
gun.
it.
Charging it. So,
Okay.
yeah. So each
So
one
if you
is
charge it longer, it's got a better strike value.
Yeah, and this one you can aim while charging.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to aim, charge it up, and then try to take the sensor out. At least limit the data that they're collecting on us.
Right.
So let's see, base. Fuck, I need to do
You
a
just
macro for this, and I don't have it. I'm just going to roll, and I'll figure it out if I think I need to.
yeah, it has a defense value of 0, and there's no like risk to you losing this, so don't bother with the roll. You make it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm pretty sure I would have made it anyhow.
Yeah, we only roll if there's something interesting that can happen and I can fuck with you. But this is just like, nah, you take your shot, you take your time, you breathe in, you breathe out, you lie down prone, you blow the thing up.
Yep. All right.
It erupts in a bright spike, a brilliant white, as rock is scattered everywhere and electrical debris is sent up. And even though the weapon itself was rather quiet, the discharge of the battery pack and the electronics there was not. It was quite loud. And also the rocks rupturing, exploding from the energy discharge.
Well, they already knew we were coming, so that probably ain't too significant, but just be on your alert, because, like I said, their seismic sensor, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, probably knew we were coming already.
Yeah, they probably know already how many we have with us.
Yeah.
But now they may not know where we're going.
Right, that's why I destroyed it. I figured giving them the heads up didn't really matter because they already knew we were coming. So let's limit the data they have and continue.
What was that, Room?
Objections?
I was just saying they probably know they're there now since you shot at it.
Yeah, but that's all right. Again, what were we going to do? Just give them more data as we closed in? I think it's better that they don't have that data.
Put them on edge a little bit.
Yeah. They're like, shit, these people are smarter than we figured. We thought we were the only smart ones.
So how do you want to distribute yourselves? Who's going to scout the trail that goes up to this supposed rabbit hole?
Connor will keep doing that. That's kind of his whole thing.
All right, so Connor, you come up to the edge where the destroyed sensor was at. You can see that
Ronan will follow close behind so that he has backup.
Oh, hi, Pumpkin.
Yeah, how big is this hole?
You don't see the hole just yet. You're finding a track. You can see that there is definitely a trail here. Like any kind of like loose stone has been moved out of the way, and there's a few steps, like handholds and little like niches that somebody could grasp onto, but for a much more diminutive sized person. So for you could more or less just like scarper over a lot of these like little tiny like inclines. You could just easily like pull yourself up and over, where you can see like little handholds have been carved out of the rock face, where some bunnies have needed those to like be able to get over those points.
Oh,
Rabbits.
yes, rabbits. Connor will climb up
All right, so you can, looking at the holes themselves, you can tell they were cut out with a laser cutter.
Oh boy.
So, they were well masked too. So they're spaced enough and they look enough like the other holes kind of all along the rock face that if you were just kind of like walking by, you probably wouldn't have noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're like deliberately looking for them, you see them for what they are. They're handholds. They're able to get up to a spot. And you get about 50 meters up and you can
God, it's high.
yeah, you could. And again, it's not all sheer. It's a bit of an incline. You're moving at probably like a 75-degree angle from the floor. And
Right.
You've got a shelf that, and this is the problem again. These rabbits are a lot smaller than you, so a purchase to them that is clear and easy to get to is a finger hold for you. And you can put your belly against it, and you can at least kind of creep your way up. But there is this potential of falling, so I'm going to need a climbing check.
Okay. As to not potentially fall on top of Ronan, he would let Ronan go first, actually, because I figured Ronan would easily climb up that.
After you.
I mean, Ronan's using the little handholds out of boredom.
Yeah, exactly. He has little tendrils. Okay, then I'll do a climb check. What would the difficulty be for this?
Climb a cliff.
Jeez. It's 36. My agility and strength are both 36, so that makes the climbing skill really easy.
Yeah, strength and
Ronan
agility
will
divided by
proffer
2.
assistance.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if that gives me a bonus at all, I'll take it, but we'll see.
Got some human hair rope.
Okay, I'll fine. All right, so let's see. Climbing a cliff.
Oh, you will climb too.
Yeah, untrained's a C.
Let's see. Oh, then I'm pretty sure I got it. Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
Oh, God, Kit's a lot
Kit
better.
came up like a damn spider monkey.
She's a natural.
You really do hunt rabbits all the time.
I told ya.
Know all their little handholds, how to get up in their areas. Squirrel your way right up there.
To think like a rabbit, you must become a rabbit.
Exactly.
Now, what about our pumpkin? His climb check?
Oh, you want my climb check?
Yeah, you're climbing up there.
Okay. Let's see. Climbing cliff.
How tall is
Do you-
Ronan?
Ronan? Let's.
I thought it was like really short.
Yep. Ronan is surprisingly short for a pumpkin. He is. Think about. What is it? Fuck, I can't remember. I have it written down as 157.
157 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's actually kind of tall. These rabbits, yeah.
Maybe I was
5
mistaken.
foot.
Is that 5 foot? No, Jesus.
No, it's
no.
4.5.
All right, yeah. So it's still
Close to 5.
it's still a cliff for you. If you were under a meter, I would have given you a rope climb because then you'd be able to use all the same handholds and foot grabs as the rabbits.
Alrighty. Okie dokie. So, cliff type C.
Yep, strength, agility, divided by 2.
Alright. Get our little math for that. Why would you make me math, Timmy? You know I don't like the math.
Is it straining your brain?
No.
Pat, need more CPU.
What? No. Alright, I've got a 68 for that.
Beans, rabbits, are
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay. So each of you get onto a small, narrow, flat piece of terrain. Now you are on a, what would you call this? A finger, which is a protuberance away from the rest of the wall, and you can see just off to your right where the finger pushes back into something that almost kind of looks like a saddle, and in there is a hole that's recessed in a way that the light would never really let you see it. It would always be kind of covered in shadow because the sun's never going to come to that point. It's always going to be covered by the shadow of this one finger. You're also horribly exposed. whoever breaches the silhouette, the corner. You're just going to be out in the open, a big old silhouette for anyone from that position to just take a shot at you. But as long as you're on your side of it, they can't hit you because you have solid rock between you and them.
All right.
Ronan curls up as small as he can and rolls his way around the corner.
Connor reaches out a hand as if he had an idea, but then just kind of watches this happen like, uh-oh. Please don't get shot, little man.
Yeah, let's shoot him.
Mind you, as curled up as I can be, I am probably about 80 centimeters now.
Not an easy shot, that's for sure. And you're
She will
moving.
ready her bow.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Let me get a rabbit raider out. You didn't want to try to let somebody else talk to him first? Call
Should
out
you
maybe?
send in
Rolling
the
out.
rabbit?
I'm not going into attack.
I know you're not.
I mean, if the rabbit wants to go out.
I mean, if the way up is clear, yeah, she'll stick her neck out. More
So-
like her ears.
So we'll pull away from Ronan rolling out into the open.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Unless you really want to, don't let me steal your fun.
Yeah. Have fun.
Live your truth.
Live your truth. Yeah.
How does Ronan want to do it?
You know what? Ronan will actually fan out his hand a bit so it's larger and stick it out around the corner.
No, good idea. I had a similar idea, but I forgot how stretchy you are.
So there's a few moments of silence, and then you hear an electric hum and a snap as a floodlight comes on and just spotlights the finger. So you can see like Ronan's tendril out, but you can't see now anything where the rabbits would be. It's completely flooded out. If you're using NVGs, nothing. You see just nothing. Just bright white. Using thermals, you'll still be able to see.
Cinder will scan with thermal then.
And Cinder's on the ground, right?
Right. Although I did roll for a climbing check because I figured I would be climbing up soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so if you're climbing up, you'll be screened by the rock. But if you're on the ground, you can at least see up to this location.
Yep, that's what he wants right now.
All right. So basically, cover like a covery fire position. Who else is on the ground with thermals?
That would just be Rhea. She'll cover Cinder's climb and then kind of follow up him after.
No, I don't want to climb if this has happened. I was waiting to see if anything happened before I climbed, but since something did happen, I'm not
okay. Yeah, you
going
gotta
to climb.
Oh, I see. Well, then, okay, negotiator, how about you try talking?
So I'll cover Rhea if Rhea wants to climb,
Yeah, she'll head up there because that's obviously where they are. So
obviously.
Yeah, they didn't shoot first. They just flooded the. They just made it so you can't see them.
So do I make anything out in thermal?
Yeah, you see 3 rabbits up there. One's lying prone, and you can see like a cold metal object in their hands. Definitely a gun. And it's weird though. It's giving off more cold than it should. Like a laser weapon would have heat from the battery and loss of electricity. So it's not a laser weapon. And
I think
Does
Kit knows what it is.
anybody besides Cinder have a communicator? I know this question has come up before, but it's...
No.
No. Okay.
you can holler.
I know.
Really?
I will do that. I'm going to say there's 3 up there, one with a cold weapon.
So Ray, you know that's an air gun.
gas guns. But they use to shoot a Kit.
Yeah.
All right, so
Ronan's
what's the
going to
plan
tie
here?
a stained white cloth to his finger and wave it into the light as Ray is coming up.
Yep. Cool.
So what did so Rhea's up there? Gonna say anything?
Yeah. Nope, yeah, she'll come up to the corner, kind of push her back up against it, and she'll call out to the other rabbits. All right, quit with the light works. We're here to talk. You know, we know, you know.
We know that you know that. What?
What?
So down below, Cinder, you can see like the bunnies like looking at each other, like the fuck was that? One of them walking back into the cave like at a quick half trot, and like coming back out with another one. Cup, you can see the little hands cup over their there's like spade shaped head. What?
Turn the lights off, damn it.
No, the light stays on. What do you want?
You know why we're here. You're stealing from Copper Dust. Now, we got word from our superiors that they want to offer you some terms of peace.
Can Kit peek around to where the floodlights are so she can flash her eyes?
Yeah, if Kit wants to kind of like climb up the face a little bit, get a little bit of look around. It won't be stable, but she might be able to. Should be able to see.
Yeah. I thought it'd be funny because it would be like, oh god, predator!
It's a cat. Get it? Blam!
Yeah. God, it's a cougar.
So one of them, when they see Kit come up over across the corner, you get that bright reflection off the eyes. That one shot at me.
You shot at me first.
You scared me.
You were stealing.
You didn't know that. You just came up with your freakish eyes and you took a shot at me.
You had a bag in your hand. You were stealing. What was I supposed to do?
Like, it's just like a pause, a quiet. You just get back. Nuh-uh.
No.
Yeah, huh?
Friends, use the front door.
Yeah. If you had nothing to hide, why were you digging in our town?
That's one of the rabbits is like, because humans shoot rabbits.
Oh, bull honky, you shot at me first.
It's like, again, you can hear the one that was like the one that was actually talking about it. Like, he chimes up. He's a slightly younger voice. It's like, what? You scared me.
You were stealing. What else do you want me to say? You were stealing.
It's going in circles.
The other ones are these.
Yeah.
Like, just shut up. Just get over. Just get back up. And again, from the bottom center, you can see that like they're arguing with each other right now, and one of them's like pointing to the back of the cave, and another one like slouches back there. It's like, fine. It's like, all right. So we were stealing. What do we do about it going forward? We didn't take more than what we needed, and we didn't take anything more that Copper Dust couldn't give.
Well, it's your lucky day, because Copper Dust is wanting to give you more.
Like one of them's again, you can there's like a couple seconds and the light turns off.
There we go. Now we can talk. Ray will kind of like poke her ears up over the or around the corner so they can see him. Not exposing her full head, but just her ears first.
Wait a minute, you're a rabbit?
That's right, buddy.
And they're all, you can see them now very, very plainly. They're all actually cottontails. They're a different breed.
All sorts of different ones.
Oh yeah, there's different rabbit breeds.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah. They have like sunburned pink noses. They have small black eyes, and their ears are shorter, but they stand up. And they're closer to the center of their head, rather than like a little bit parted at the sides like a jackrabbit's. And they're small. And they still kind of... They're less than a meter.
Hustle. What centimeter? She does Ray taller. She's 81 centimeters.
So they're a little bit smaller, probably about 70, 60 centimeters.
Right.
So these are more rabbit than human.
They're so cute. Look at that one. That little nose is twitching. Oh,
I mean,
my
it really
lord.
is. And Rhea, you know that that look is actually a scowl. Like people think it's cute, but it's really like frowning and making like a face,
Right.
just abject disgust.
So, are you ready to talk now?
All right, we can talk.
All right. Ray will come out and like fully kind of like meet them halfway.
So one of the rabbits scrambles down from the top. You can see that they're wearing a pretty bad patchwork of armor and equipment. The guns look good. They look to be pretty well maintained, but this one tosses it to somebody else and leaves it behind and comes down from on top. Plastic armor, breastplate, kind of a tight-fitting jacket, along with some. You can see that they've got some thermal padding on it as well, like the thermal cloaks that a lot of people carry. And this one also has a gas mask clipped to a web belt across its like a kind of large pouching mid-belly. And it kind of waddle hops towards you and offers you a paw.
All right. She reaches out, shakes it.
And now you're looking at this, almost rabbit, just a big rabbit with an opposable thumb.
Or their ears are fine, right? They're not split.
No, they're not.
No. Okay. So, where do you come from?
You hear that clicking of the teeth as they grind the top and bottom together a little bit, and just like a nervousness. South down.
South down.
Oh God, what do you long ears call it? As it's sitting there and it's like running it through its health. It's running it through its mind. South of Rabbit Hole.
Oh, they got a new one, huh?
Oh no, it's not there anymore. We all got pushed out during the last insurrections.
That's still going on down there. So what? You guys are just survivors then?
More like refugees.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
I got one family unit back here. All my offspring.
Why didn't you just come through the front gate?
Because humans shoot rabbits!
They don't shoot you.
Kit,
Yeah.
I got this.
I'm sorry.
All right. Listen, I'll level with you then. We haven't been causing too much trouble around Copper Dust, I'll give you that. They barely noticed.
No, we just tried to skim, didn't want them to catch any notice.
Yeah. Got a lot more honor than the rest of them out here.
And we heard about the raiders that hit Greywater.
Just recently?
No, just the problems they have out that way. We didn't want to get skinned. I've seen, as he leans forward, I've seen coats come out in the trade caravans.
Which ones? What kind?
He looks at you. Yeah, rabbit.
Yeah,
coats.
you mean skins. Yeah.
A little too big to be your garden variety rabbit. As he's like eyeing where Kit is, who's openly admitted to skinning rabbits.
Well, listen, I got it from my higher ups. They're willing to let you come in if you want to join them. Now, Unity's been by Copper Dust quite a bit, scooping up their people. They could really use the extra firepower. And you probably don't want to be out here on your own too much either.
He looks up at the hole. It's like, no, we've been hit by shrikes twice this past week.
Ray just kind of looks around like, shit, are they up here?
No, not now, not at nighttime.
All right.
And we're a little too close to the cliff face, but we've sent some of my foragers out across the sand dunes and they got hit.
It's your call.
All right, let me go back up. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll come back down. I'll talk to whoever it is I'm supposed to talk to on your side.
Be me if you're most comfortable with that.
All right, fair deal.
All right. Yep, and she'll turn, and she'll go back to the rest of the group. Lucky. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
See, we're not all bad.
I never said that you all.
Hunter will put a hand on Kit's shoulders, like, don't start this again.
Call down to Cinder. How's it looking down there?
So far, so good.
Camel spiders ain't got your toes yet?
Nope.
I think Tim broke.
No, I'm just freaking. What do I say to that? So while you were there, Cinder, you did notice a couple things that were interesting.
Sure.
So first off, the weapons that they have, they're leaking.
Okay.
They're in a bit of a disrepair, and the leak is very, very fine, but it's a way to pick up on gas guns if they've
Right.
had them and you've been using them recently. The seal,
Got it.
when they screw in, isn't always great, and it does a pretty decent difference of air temperature on the metal. And so even though it's very cold out, that stands out. And so that's
Okay.
like something to kind of file away for a way
Oh,
to,
yeah.
detect that in the distance, especially if they're hiding. You might be able to pick up on it.
Sure.
You also now know that there's shrikes in the area,
Yeah.
and that is bad if they've got a nest someplace nearby. They've already hit I-5 a couple times as well, and so this is concerning. If shrikes have moved into the location, the areas in the north have had to deal with them before, but you guys mostly wiped them out. And that's what you got to do if a shrike is setting up a nest somewhere. It's collecting biomatter.
Right.
And so that's going to be a developing problem. And they will take out one of these grid spaces. They'll take out all the adjacent ones. They'll just deplete of biomatter and batteries and other robots. If there's a nesting queen.
Yeah, that'd be shit. We'd have to move out real fucking quick.
Yeah. Gotta take her out. Let's see here. Yeah, so I guess you guys got your call response. You got to bring him back to Copper Dust. As he comes back down, he's got his weapon with him. He's not going to leave without that. He's got a long knife. Well, it kind of looks more like a, nail filer to the rest of you, but he's got it like tucked into a belt on the front, and he has a kind of like a four-limbed hop that he does as he moves across the sands.
Some are more lucky than others.
In what way?
Well, I guess
You know,
it depends on your perspective. If you're a rabbit, you probably want to be more like a rabbit, but
Yeah. Oh, that's what you're looking at, this bunny. It's like,
Yeah.
wish I could do that.
Rhea just looks kind of sad and looks at her own hands like I lucked out.
More human. It's like,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Freak.
So you get back to Copper Dust. If there's nothing else you guys want to roleplay for that, Steel will take negotiations over, and that'll take place with E4 in private.
I think that's probably
Yeah, that's fine.
cool.
Pretty uneventful.
Yeah, they'll take him.
Just get them back into town, just mow them all down at the front gate. Got him for you, Steel.
Right. So for actually going out there, completing the mission, and interacting with these things and not turning into a bloodbath, each of you guys get 20 experience factors for the characters that participated in the using the skills and moving about.
Cash money.
Cool.
Argo, you've been working on Whiskey Tango all night long, and let's get a roll for that code break to see if you can actually like reprogram that CPU.
Sounds good. What roll is it?
So we are looking.
D100. Just roll a D100.
Computer technician. So we need to hack the CPU that's there. And what's his? Oh my God, what's his skill in computer tech?
2.
2. Well, he got it. 37% chance. So Argo, yeah, you hacked it. You cracked open that CPU. Now that came from one of the crabs, right?
Yes.
So that is a constructor crab, and it had access to a bunch of secondary files that you could actually take use of. These are basically, for any robotic character, these are free skills.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Let me pull up
More free skills for the robot.
adversaries. This was a warrior, rank 1. Skills. No, don't want to do that. I just copied and pasted all of the, or just copied all of the HTML text from it. I'm like, no, don't want the HTML. Just want the raw text. That would be really weird looking inside. Which one? So these are the skills that are actually on the CPU already that you've cracked it open, but you got to reprogram it to be able to work with Whiskey Tango's operating system. And so this next step for you at rank 2 is a hazard type B intelligence based check.
Okie dokie. The one thing I'm good at.
Oh, look at that
Damn!
roll.
Oh man. This is child's play for you. As you like rapidly, you probably already have a program ready to go, already written.
Shit.
As you get the thermal paste on there, get the heat sinks going, got it all locked into the motherboard.
Heck yeah, warbot.exe is installed.
Up and running, going good. CPU's upgraded along with those free skills. Now you gained a bevy of other information from the because again your checks were so good. Now what you found out from the crabs is that there is a colony of them in the Deadwoods. In what would be this grid coordinate H8. So actually I'm going to just paint that. So there is a crab colony there. So builder crabs, a factory crab that's actually producing more of them. And there's usually just a lot of robotics in those kinds of areas if they have a miniature factory where they're producing more of their own kind. Again, it's just like any kind of like insect warren, except for it's robotic.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Player question. So one of the things you brought up last game is we would want to be having something to offer to the plantoids in the dead, forest
Deadwoods.
area.
Yeah.
Deadwoods, yeah. I'm presuming, but I'm just curious if you can confirm, would crabs and plantoids not likely be a good mix?
They wouldn't be, because the crabs consume biomatter for their own constructions and fuel.
Right. All right. Good. We got a negotiating angle. I had made that known to Ronan last game session that Cinder had heard from Steel that going into the Deadwood is a good option for looking for relics that is probably the closest option other than going to Greywater.
So the other thing is, you also know that sand crabs collect and maintain solar cows, like the aphid. They bring them into their layers and they feed them bio waste, and then bring them up onto the surface during the day to charge them, and they use them as battery sources. So they do produce a pretty steady and good biosource in the area, but they do use it for fuel.
Hmm.
So they have their own algae tanks that they create. It's part of the reason why the algae tanks technology exists in the area is because of these creatures. Enterprising individuals discovered a way to turn it into a food source instead of just a straight up fuel source by mutating the different algae strains.
Cool.
All right, so
people have thoughts on what next? I mean, we've made peace with the rabbits. What next?
it's still nighttime. Who wants to turn in for the night?
Figured turn in and then heard some talk of going to Greywater, maybe stopping by High Rise or.
It's time for adventure.
Pretty much,
Well, I
yeah.
kind of would like to hit the Deadwood first, but that's Cinder talking. Rumred's not present, but Rumred would say, "Oh, High Rise, yes, let's do that."
It's been a while since we've been home, Connor. Maybe we could go to High Rise.
Let's first get some sleep and discuss with Bruce when he wakes up.
So Kit will be passed out. You're going to try to do it early in the morning when Kit's still awake.
Yeah, pretty much.
You get passed out?
Just
He's
wait
gonna
for-
wait till Kit's passed out so that she can't voice opinions.
Nah, just like that brief bit of daybreak where she's like getting ready to tuck herself in. We can discuss.
So I'll pull you guys into a galley, so a dining facility that's inside the wall, and well, not in the wall, sorry, in the stone cliff itself, where you already got Steele sitting there at a table with a carafe of coffee that he's drinking out of. It's some thin, like awful smelling stuff that he calls coffee, and along with a lot of nutrient pastes, the algae gruel that's being produced here. The people that are coming over off of watch, members from the town taking their own ration portion along with like a cup of water and sitting down and drinking it. It's a sociable area, but everyone kind of respects each other's like privacy at the benches that they're at, and all these benches are carved from the stone themselves, along with the tables, so you really can't move them.
Oh,
Got,
High Rise probably could grow coffee beans. Very off topic, but yeah.
probably has it for its elite people up on the higher rises.
Mm-hmm.
Yippee, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot has a fucking better CPU. He can actually be a little more useful.
What's the-
Ed has RGB lights now.
Perhaps. But like with that shitty ass CPU, I was suffering -10s in agility, accuracy, and perception.
Yeah.
So
I can play Minecraft now. Hell yeah.
but
So-
hey, now I got 60%, 72 accuracy, and 53 agility.
So what? It's like Whiskey Tango walk into the galley, just like finger guns.
Maybe.
Check me out,
You won the
guys.
Silicon Lottery.
Just in my mind, I have this vision of Argo with like the Sanchez like mustache and like the slick back black hair, just like cleaning his hands as if there's oil on it, with like a tiny little kerchief that he puts back inside a little pocket. He's like, he just seems well dressed in my mind, even for this terrain.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know that guy. We share mustache tips.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Sancho gets his mustache.
Hey, DM, you got 5 silver I can borrow?
No.
Hugo Sanchez hair wax.
Oh god, they're selling it in Overpass.
Yeah.
Right next to the freaking roach butter.
Oh, yeah, I said Sanchez, I meant Sancho. Shit. You know what I meant.
Oh, I did. Made from all natural roach butter. The Sancho hair cream. All right, so present to me the scene of people being inside the dining room. You're in the galley. You've got breakfast.
Iliad is sitting next to Steele, also wielding a cup of coffee.
It's muddy.
Ilya does not drink coffee. He's just holding it.
It has texture where it shouldn't.
Iliad is still a robot.
So it was established that Cinder has the capacity to intake things. He just has to empty things out later.
Yeah, he's just
So
purge it later.
He'll pretend to have a small breakfast and actually consume some actual coffee, not just hold it like some robots do.
Yeah.
I just like. I just like. I'm gonna draw where Iliad is sitting at the table and he's holding the coffee, and then he's like watching everybody drink it, and he just dumps it on his face. And then it's like,
Little football grill just.
Brennan's just gonna walk up and plop right next to Steel, while pouring the water that he has out of his cup into his empty eye socket.
Lovely. Yeah, Ray's at the table too, just sadly eating the gruel, wishing it was something far crunchier. Mira's, do the solar cows have like a hard drive?
Yeah, they have a hard drive.
A hard drive? Okay, so Mira would have like yanked the hard drive out of the solar cow, and she's now got to plug it into the attacker, and she's trying to transfer the virus out of that into the hard drive.
Like, just go in there. God, just go in there.
Just try to coax it in there.
It's a squirrel trap.
Brennan will break off a piece of his finger to give to Rhea for food.
You got the little red LED flashing, like it's the computer's thinking. You hear like the thumb grind of a 1990s hard drive as it's like it's just spinning.
Yeah, go on. There's some douchey
There's a kid on LimeWire in there. Come on, go.
God.
Gonna say there's some unencrypted wire credit card numbers.
Go dive.
Yeah,
it's the peanut butter for a virus program. This goes right for it.
Kid on LimeWire, fuck. That's really.
I just aged all of us. Stupid. Poor
Like
Ara.
having unprotected sex with the internet.
Yeah, poor Ara. Like, what the fuck's a LimeWire?
Oh, it depends
You
what the
wound my heart.
definition of Livewire is.
It was a place where we
copy.
used to share. We used to share things with each other on the internet in a very dirty fashion, and everyone got viruses.
Is it?
Rewire.
That's if you were lucky.
It's like, huh? Why did that executable open up and close all of a sudden? Not my problem. It's fucking whatever. All right. Again, paint me the scene. Like, what does this look like as you guys are sitting there?
So I would mention in the chat, but Rumred is sitting with Cinder. They've been pretending to be a couple, so they're still kind of play acting at that, but she doesn't look quite into it today. She looks really tired and got her, chin on her fist and is just kind of poking at her food. She looks tired and kind of depressed. And, if you guys are talking about what happened last night, she raises an eyebrow, and kind of snorts, but ignores you. Other than that. So Cinder is, as I mentioned, pushing for a Deadwoods, expedition, pointing out that Ronan had non-verbally acquiesced to participate, because a plantoid would be very important for us going into the Deadwoods. And after that, we could certainly go anywhere else you guys want to go.
Imagine Connor's currently sitting with Roos and Kit, working hard to ensure Kit tries to eat something before she passes out onto her plate. While, as you know, Iliad's already just sitting with Steel, just more or less for a source of company.
The scene from Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, where you got her hair tied up to the back of the chair so she'd fall asleep in the soup.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have flavor?
Does the food have flavor, Timmy?
Yeah, it does. They have a flavor. It's
No.
Is that flavor
The
profile
sap.
bad? Oh, the sap?
I'm asking if the sap has flavor.
Yeah, the sap is considered very sweet.
maple syrup type or what?
Kind of. Yep.
So she'll raise an eyebrow at that and give another feeble smile and eat a little bit more.
You're a pumpkin spice mutant.
Yeah, basically.
Got a little Starbucks stamp on your butt.
I'll never tell. Speaking of which, pumpkin guts for we're no? Alright.
Nope, didn't get it.
Oh, right.
Rest of you guys, what's the conversation look like?
So Connor's more or less he's trying to convince Roos to like head back to High Rise more or less. As he, y'all had your fun out here. You should get back home.
Rum Red will perk up at that and look a little happier and said, "Oh, could I go with you? I'd really like to see how you grow things there."
Bruce kind of gives her a side eye and then looks back to Connor. We can visit, but I'm a little curious of other happenings going on here in the desert.
Connor will roll his eyes at that, looking back to Rum Red. But taking a moment to drink some of the thin coffee before grimacing. I mean, look, you've been kind. I'll vouch for you to be a visitor, but I'm not sure how quick the guild will want to show you the inner workings. You might have to, throw your lot in, be useful,
Okay. I've put in my time before, and if I have to again, I will do it again.
Well, it sounds like your man there is more interested in the deadwood.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking we might have to part ways. His interests and my interests just aren't the same these days. Sorry, Cinder. Cinder actually looks totally taken aback by that, and he's like, "What? You never told me that. What?" And now he kind of stands up abruptly and storms out of the place.
I did not mean to cause a marital dispute.
We ain't married, honey.
Paradise.
Yeah, well,
So
the relationship served a purpose for a while.
Cinder vacates, Steel takes his spas. He comes over with a metal stamped out tray with some gruel in it, and he sits down with also in one of the depressions is a strip of what looks like meat that he put inside one of the reheaters, and it smells like meat. And he sits down, he looks around like, "Hey, Ray, hand me that flavoring." There's like a couple bottles on the tables of different kinds of condiments.
Looks at the meat, looks at Steel, looks around. Is there any rabbits in here?
No rabbits.
She hands him the spiciest bottle.
Ooh,
Oh, God.
takes a look at it and he grimaces. Oh, okay. This is probably for the best. I bought this from the Beatles. Who knows what it is?
shit.
He sprinkles it onto the meat, and it gets so dry, it just sucks it up immediately.
That's brave of you, Steel.
Yeah, so I heard you guys
offers sap.
That's disgusting. He takes the sap and he puts it on the meat.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah, he's
Sweet
like,
and spicy.
that's vile. And he deliberately takes it and puts it on it after smelling it. Yeah, okay, I could probably do. How much of that do you have in you anyways? Is that just a byproduct?
Nods his head. Starts to kind of like wither like some of his like tendrils, and then goes back to normal.
He looks over at Connor. Connor, you ever figure when they're pollinating, that's basically the same thing as somebody coming on you?
He looks right at Steel. and like tears at his gourd a little bit to make a very toothy and disturbing smile,
Uh,
and then
That was
closes it back up.
gross.
No, see, we actually had this one that came through. He was a bitter melon, right? But he had himself spliced by someone down an overpass so he could be a lemon. Or sorry, no, bitter orange. That's what he was. Yeah, he had himself spliced with a yeah, I don't even remember the name of the other kind of fruit, but he wanted to make lemons for himself. It's the damnedest thing in the world. All the lemons he had coming off of him had these weird, like, tendrily fingers coming off of them, and some of them looked like what a textbook says lemons are supposed to look like. You know what those things taste like?
Bitter?
No.
It's like you ever ate something in your face and he like makes a sucking face like motion with like he just like sucks his cheeks in, like they tasted like that. They tasted like pain. You can see he's distracting himself as he's cutting the meat and then just pops some of it in his mouth and continues chewing.
What the
And
hell
like
is that?
his eyes glass over momentarily. And like they just water up a little bit.
Yeah, Steel, what is that?
I hope, dog, as he chews it down and swallows.
Ray just grins a little bit. Dog.
Oh, God.
Serves him right.
I mean, it's not human. They told me it wasn't human. No, they assured me it wasn't human. You know what they
Hey,
also...
how's Leo?
Yeah, you know what they also told me as he's looking over at Razor? Hey, Rumred.
yep.
Somebody was teaching them how to better sell things.
Blink, blink. Really? Blink,
Yeah,
blink.
they kept trying to go up on the price.
She smiles. I'm so proud.
Stop teaching them things. They learn too damn fast.
They need to be a little smarter in how they operate it. It's not a bad thing.
He like waves his fork at you. The problem is they have an eidetic memory.
Good for them.
Anyways, I don't know what eidetic means, but that's what the U4 told me, and apparently it's bad. They're not allowed in any of the computer stations.
Huh.
Well, being better merchants means that they will give better, exchange. I heard Rhea was upset that Rhea got a bad exchange compared to somebody else, and I said, hey, we got to teach them how to be proper merchants.
Great. So basically, you just made my life a lot more expensive.
Well, it's proper to do things correctly in merchant work. Are you going to cheat all the caravans that come through?
Cheat, that is a harsh word. I make sure they get the proper recompensation for all the goods that we are given. If
So the
I just get a
Beetle were
good deal,
dirt ignorant and you were taking advantage, and you think that's not going to get back to other merchants?
he looks around to get support from someone, makes eye contact with Iliad, realizes that's probably the wrong person to do it with.
Iliad's just staring back, coffee still dripping off his grill.
Ah!
He's like looking around for like anybody in this room that would be like supportive of his like misdeeds. Like maybe Cole? Looks at Cole.
I mean, they're dumb as shit. Take advantage of them.
Thank you. Oh, damn it, Cole, you made it sound worse.
It is worse. Taking advantage of dumb as shit people.
Uh,
For shame. For shame.
well, at least I have to finish whatever this is. As he like takes another cut of it, puts it in his mouth, and his whole body shakes as he chews it and swallows it down. Oh,
Rum kind of leans in and pulls down her like normal face mask that she has, like she's got the burqa type thing on. Looks him straight in the face and says, I've had experience with people who took advantage. I don't like that.
Right, it just takes like a scoop of her gruel, and, like with a mouthful, it kind of like points the spoon between Iliad and Steel. So, how's Goldilocks doing?
Theo looks over at
The
Iliad.
night.
Oh, he meant the beetle.
Yeah, he looks over at
Who the
Iliad.
fuck is he talking about?
He's not dead yet.
He had the
Rusty.
beetle.
Yeah, the
Cole
beetle.
takes a bite out of Steel's meat.
Cole, you know
Right.
what it is immediately.
Is it people?
No.
I do
It's-
know what that tastes like.
Yeah, it's restructured protein.
It's artificial meat.
Yucky.
Artificial from what?
Any kind of biomass. Restructured.
Oh god, it's corpse starch.
Ronan looks more intrigued now.
Green!
I feel like Kit might have actually just said that out loud. it's
I read
corpse
a book
starch.
called Warhammer.
Okay, that's
Corpse starch.
Imitation crab.
Connor pats, like bonks on the head, and watch out. The lawyers are still alive.
Robots operating in the
Lawyers
wastelands.
would survive all this. Making sure that the waste doesn't actually become like anything of theirs.
They just see the techno barbarians. They find the god emperor, kill him in his cradle. Oh my god.
They would.
So we gotta sit here. All right, so Steel's like, all right, well, oh god, restructured protein. To Cinder's point, you want to go hit up Deadwood?
I don't. I would like to go home.
Well, I would recommend if you do want to hit Deadwood, you go to her home or at very least Greywater and get some better guns.
Yeah.
I mean, at high rise, you might be able to get some Ebola launchers.
He's like, what, the magnetic ones?
Yeah, or mundane ones.
Those would be pretty useful against crabs. Take out two
there
of
you
those
go,
legs.
Red, maybe you could make up with Cinder that way. Promise to get him a fancy magnetic gun.
Maybe. He's weird and touchy sometimes. Takes offense to things that don't make sense.
At this point, Steele's looking over. He's like, Whiskey, you are moving smoother.
Oh no, we lost him.
Yep, he's gone.
He's gone?
Ara?
Shit.
Yeah.
He says to Whiskey Tango, like, you're moving smoother.
Yes.
Ooh, he spoke. Did he speak before?
Great.
I don't think
No.
he did.
So Argo, so that time in the machine shop proved fruitful then?
Yes.
Mira, did you try to hack that the first night you were here? Yeah, Mira. So eloquent.
Say again.
Didn't you try to hack that?
You
The
say that, and I think I'm hearing in my head, did you try to tap that?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing when robots start
Yes,
switching
yeah.
cables back and forth to each other. I've seen some stuff in 86. Things that
Yeah.
made me question what I was looking
Yeah.
at.
Sorry, what are we talking? I zoned out for a quarter of a second.
He wants to know, like, you had attempted to hack that crab the first night.
Oh, fur crab.
Yeah. You're able to get in just fine, right?
Yeah, no problem.
No viruses?
Seemed clean.
How about that Lissa virus?
Still working on it. Very
No.
stubborn.
He looks down and he sees your apparatus like strung out on the table with all the cables snaking off of it. Oh yeah, trying to lower it into a dead end box, huh?
Try to do it to me.
Fair enough. He like finishes off the last bit of the artificial protein, stuffs it into his mouth, and just you can hear kind of like the grinding as he's chewing on it because it's just leathery. Oh, so dry and spicy.
Bruce
Ugh.
actually is interested, and he looks to Steele and he says, "You mentioned 86. What's that about?"
Oh, Well, last time I there, it's kind of like a refugee camp for robots that broke away from the mecha units. They're all. I don't really know how to describe it, really, other than like a robot commune. Yeah, they're up in the mountains, up in the east, off the caravan roads. They got a couple factories in the area. They welcoming to humans. I mean, really no trouble from them. They're just weird.
Oh.
I mean, he pulls out a pistol from his side. It's a zap gun, you can see, and he puts it onto the table. I mean, I bought this there. That's not bad. It came from a manufacturer called Tibby's and Cadwin. It's a android digital being duo. So a lot of the zap guns around here were made by them, or at least patterned from things that they made. Looks over. Yeah, something funny.
No, nope, nothing at all.
There's a. Did I hear that right? There's a digital being in your gun?
No, not in the gun. Help create it. Yeah, that's Tibby. Kind of an odd character. I got an explanation on it, and I don't really understand all the words they're going to be saying right now. I'm just kind of repeating what I was told. It comes from a video game initially, some kind of artificial intelligence that was used for entertainment in the olden days. Still kind of projects that image. It's small and lizard-like.
Mira kind of looks away from her thing and looks at the zap gun. Steel, do you mind?
No, go right ahead.
And she picks it up in her claw and kind of like turns it over, looks at it, and
It's got
sets it back down.
Yeah, it's got a charge. It's got good balance to it. It's definitely a custom piece made from scrap, but it's like all the solder connections are solid. The piping is really well made. It does have that like shambled looking battery that looks like it might blow up at any point in time. You can feel a little bit of heat coming from it.
How much did you pay for it?
That piece, I think about 450 silver.
Shame. Looks rather shoddy.
I've been beating it up a lot. I don't have the original power cell anymore. I had to get a shot one.
Maybe the knight can come with us and check that place out.
If you
I've
want
been to 86 a few times. They are good robots. That comment makes Connor just kind of snort. To which Iliad actually ignores and goes on to say, if we do enter Greywater, I would like to head to Bittertoe.
Bittertoe.
Yeah, like Steel just kind of looks down at his plate, like, oh, bitter toe.
The former home of my order. Apparently, there's rumors of lights coming from the ruins at night. I would like to investigate these rumors and see who would inhabit our sacred gravesite.
Yeah, Steel's face scrunches up. You could, like he did just see something foul, and he's like considering like, who would go into Bittertoe?
Kit slams her fist down and she perks up and she goes, I'll come with you.
Connor in the corner goes, God damn it.
What? It sounds fun. A little adventure. It's on the way to Greywater. We're going to stop by our home, and then we go to Bittertoe and we see what's going on there. Maybe there's a bunch of knights lollygagging around.
Maybe we should go to Deadwood.
You want to take the southern pass up, past Rabbit Hole?
Connor just shakes his head. I just really rather not deal with any of that.
Kit kind of blabbers on. Yeah, Connor don't really like robots or anything. We don't talk about that.
What does WTF think of that?
We
Duncan?
lost-
Sarah, you there?
I had my fucking mutant. Oh my
Ah.
god. I love how I keep muting my mic and keep forgetting I have it muted this entire time. So when I perk up. Oh god. Anyway, what was I?
It's like he points at the robot. I'm like, maybe another upgrade's due.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
It was just mentioned that Connor doesn't care for robots.
You don't like.
Note it. Do not do CPR on him.
Even Steel chuckles. Like,
I'm notes that.
Connor's attitude turns a little sour as he stands up. I'd rather die anyway. And as he heads out.
Steel's like, well, it's not like he can do rescue breathing for you.
Nah.
That's a good one.
He just had medical 3.
Oh,
No, medic 2, actually.
no.
Iliad watches Connor leave and just kind of silently for a moment, then turns back to the group. I stay with what I say. I would like to see Bittertoe. I'm not asking anyone to accompany me. I will not say no to assistance, but that is where I will be going. I will accompany you to High Rise, not even assist in Deadwood, but my goal will be towards Bittertoe.
So Steel takes out a graphite pencil, and he clears his tin away, and he scratches out onto the polished table. He gets drawn a line. He's like, all right, well, here's the caravan road. And he puts a circle and then a couple triangles to represent the mountains. And here's Deadwood on the south side of the mountains. You got High Rise right over here past the Siltsies. You're all going to need stilts. And, well, I suppose if Kit or Roos want to show, or Connor want to show your way through, they could. Do you guys know how to get through the Siltsies, or do you get a guide to go through?
Of course we know how to get through. We live there, don't we?
Well, I didn't want to assume. I figured that would be like a closely guarded secret how to do that.
It is. So if you go telling people, we'll know about it. And then there's like an awkward silence.
Yeah, right. Like, she did admit the skinning rabbits the other day, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
You can meet our lovely combat. He's the mayor.
Oh, that's a conversation for a different day. As Steele draws out the locations, and he draws from Copper Dust up to High Rise. He's like, so that's about. He looks at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 liters of water just to get. Or sorry, 6. No, 12 liters. That's 12 liters of water just to get the High Rise.
And that's barring no distractions, no interruptions.
Yeah, that's assuming. I mean, as long as you stay west of Tetanus Valley, you shouldn't come into too many problems. That's mostly flat land until you get to the Siltsies. You'll be able to see anything coming in on you for a while.
Ray jerks a finger over towards Mira. Is she gonna be able to make the trek in that? In the robot body.
She's a crab, yeah. I think so.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be the intakes are going to be the problem.
Yeah. We roast the solar cows in there all the time. They don't really have a problem as long as they stick to the path.
Steel nods noted. All right. Well, I guess as long as that's how that works, just have to tie a stick to the top of her with a flag. We'll make a little rope. Okay. And he draws the other line going over the Greywater, and from there you head back to the caravan road, the Greywater, and then you can snake up to Bittertoe just a little bit further north than that, and then pass back down past Rabbit Hole and into the Deadwood. And then maybe you could go and investigate up in the mountains, see about that Shrike problem.
Big guns. Need big guns.
Yeah, so
That
I'd
was Cinder
recommend-
walking back into the place.
You need fast guns. As he looks up at the Sunder. If you want to be able to take down some Shrikes, you're gonna need guns that shoot fast and accurate.
Gonna need some real guns. Red Patzer assault rifle.
Yeah, we're gonna need something fast, something accurate, and maybe something with a little bit of AI assistance. And then he taps his finger out towards an area where there's some like gruel on the table. That means you need to go to 86.
I will
I've been
definitely.
meaning to check that place out at some point.
I can definitely assist everyone to our journey from High Rise to Greywater to Bare Toe. Depending what happens there, we might have to part ways.
Very well.
Everybody's leaving. I don't like that.
All I gotta say is we need to get the hell out of here because this food sucks. The last time I was in the John, it sounded like I was shooting marbles.
Steele looks at his own like discarded plate. Yeah, I would not mind some of that food that comes out of High Rise coming back down over here. At the very least, a couple more algae tank installations so we can get something more citrus, maybe a little bit more umami.
Rum speaks up. Oh, I've already got the stuff for that. I just need tanks.
Just need tanks, huh?
Yeah, I got samples from the beetles.
Really?
It only
Really?
cost me 100 silver. She looks at Steele with an eyebrow raised.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll reimburse you for that. If you promise to come back with some knowledge to be able to get up a couple more vats. We don't. He said we lost our last technician to Unity during the last Tithe.
Well, I'll do my best.
It's like, okay, well, if there's a crab colony in the east, they're gonna have algae tanks that they've built already. Transporting them will be a bitch. Not to mention you have to assault the crab colony itself to be able to get to them. But they're gonna have a whole arcology down there. Energy
Cinder-
supplies, solar
Cinder
cows.
speaks up. We were going to take them out anyways.
So,
As a favor to the, deadwood plantoids.
so I heard that there were shrikes in the area, nesting.
Well, if strikes have been hitting, they hit I-5, so there must be a queen nearby.
My assumption is they might be in age 6, because if they're hitting I-5, they might also hit
The crabs.
8, where the crabs are. Yes,
Oh,
age 9. That would be
damn.
an adequate food source for them. But then that leads to the theory of a queen being much more possible.
Poof. That means the queen's within almost 40 kilometers of the town. That is not good. As he's like looking at a grease stain on top of the stone in the area around like G7, H6. Oh, we don't need that. Yeah, you need guns. Hell, I need a new gun.
We all need new guns.
My gun works just fine.
Wait, I don't think I have a gun. Hold on.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Also, you
at
guys
all
have guns.
opposed to getting more guns.
I don't know. I kind of like my bow better.
Especially if I can at least get more ammunition.
A lot quiet.
Well, I'll try to bounce an atmospheric over the 86, see if we can't pick them up on the radio. If I can get them on ham, we can get a call back. We'll see if they have any guns for sale. Sure, I can't hit Greywater from here. The mountains make it too difficult. But 86 is far enough away that the signal can bounce back down.
So the flow steel, we still have a way to work with that, do we?
Yeah, you have to charge it, and when you charge it, you can shape it.
Do we? So we actually can shape it.
Yep.
Like properly. Okay. Mirror pops up then. She says, if we take the flow steel, I have experience in working with gas guns. Perhaps we could build some of that. In the meantime,
Gas guns.
Mira has gunsmithing one.
Gas guns, huh? Those are quick. We put down one hell of a charge. Unguided. Kick like a mule. They're not sealed up properly. Kind of a bunny thing, though.
Cinder will interject. Speaking of leaking, those bunnies we talked to, their guns are leaking.
Steel snorts bad O-rings.
Probably.
That's the problem. You need rubber. You can get synthetics. You can make them here, but they're going to be they're going to be plant matter synthetics. They just don't last very long. Degrade quickly. You're going to need something petroleum based. The only place I know that makes that's Unity or Whitehole. Good luck getting any tech out of them. And he settles back a little bit on the bench and kicks his heels underneath it so he can lean. Well, so y'all gonna be hitting high rise first?
Cinder looks around.
Yeah,
High rise? Who's talking about high rise? I don't.
we are.
What the fuck's there?
Dude, damn it. Real food, Cinder.
Food and
Aren't you tired of eating this
water.
junk?
Food and water and solar cows and robots and jobs and laser
robots
guns.
there?
And
You got laser guns there?
Wow.
Like
This is
the
first time hearing
real,
it.
the real stuff? I mean, not this zap gun shit. I've heard about them. I ain't seen one.
I think she's confusing laser for energy. We have the magnetic bolas. Well, they have magnetic bolas there.
yeah,
Signature defense.
Oh, that's,
yeah.
that might be interesting. I don't know. I never tried one of them.
Steel whistles. Gas guns.
We got bug farms.
You know, I actually managed to get the fire gas gun one time. Goddamn, not energy efficient at all, but holy shit, could it fire a shell? I
Cinder looks over at Argos and says, "Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? This is stuff you need to be paying attention to, Argos. You're a sniper, right?
Yes.
Well, can't get a better sniper rifle than a Gauss gun.
This is very true.
Steele's thinking about it. Fast, accurate, long range, powerful caliber.
If we're going to take out Shrikes, I'm thinking we need a Gauss gun. And you shooting it, he points at Argos.
Argo just shrugs. I'm not that great at shooting, actually.
So
Well,
if
you only get good by practicing.
So if you can get the tech from those Bolo launchers and get it over to the weaponsmiths in 86, you could probably get yourself a pretty damn good Gauss rifle.
Ooh, I like the sound. I want to know about Gauss pistols. Is that a thing? I've never heard of them.
Steel shakes his head. I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't be possible. The range would be reduced and the power draw would be insane, but...
So Cinder like reaches down to his automatics and like pulls them out and starts doing gunslinger bullshit, you know, whipping around. And I like the idea of Gauss gun pistols. Let's ask about that while we're at it.
So it sounds like high rise is where we want to go.
Well, it sounds like there's going to be a large venture of multiple places, but in the end, it's going to mean big fucking guns.
Yeah, you know, it's like I don't really want to open up a communication with high rise between here and there. Anybody could be listening to a radio wire, to a transmission, pick up on it. And I don't have any treaties or cryptos back and forth with high rise like I do with Unity.
They haven't been the most social bunch.
What was the range to high rise?
40 kilometers.
And what did we establish was the range for my communicator? Stupid large.
100,000.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it's-
1,000. Yeah, it's like satellite worthy.
Yeah. What if we could encrypt?
Well, the other problem would be them being able to unencrypt it on their side. They would need to pass like a handshake and a key code. I could try something on a broadband connection. If they pick up and deign the answer, then we could communicate that way, and then you could send a message over. So
Yeah,
they
just
can
thinking.
expect you. But again, I just don't want to set you up for an ambush going up into the silt seas.
Nope, we don't want no ambushes.
So I figure going blind would be your best bet. I'll at the very least hop a communication over the 86 and just I'll put in some inquiries about Gauss rifles and see what they can do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Oh, and all this time, Cinder is very purposely not looking at Rum at all. And she looks a little uncomfortable, but mostly is ignoring him too.
This is awkward.
Kit
We should get ready to leave.
kind of leans towards Roman and goes, I need you to blink 2 times if he's beating you.
She rolls his eyes and shakes her head.
Well, it sounds like you all have a plan that you're going with.
I like how Kit's a Waffle House waitress is coming over. Like, sweetie, he beating you?
What about
Just
you,
blink
Cole?
twice.
Iliad's impressing him now.
I ain't going nowhere near where you going.
And may I inquire as to why?
I want out of this place as soon as possible.
Towards where? Asked Cinder.
Anywhere Unity ain't.
Oh, I know they are quite close to Unity. High Rise has made a great
Not unless I
stride.
hitch a ride with one of them Beetle.
That's an option too. But High Rise
Beetles aren't going to
tries
Crossroad.
be free of Unity's influence.
Rum speaks up and says, Sandbarrow is not bad. I lived there for quite a while. It's not the greatest, but it's better than Pitford, that fucking pit hole.
Steele nods his head to the conversation and agrees with Iliad. And like, if you want someplace that's definitely don't got Unity inside of it, he points to it, the Smudge 86 and the little graphite circle in High Rise.
Yeah, all I'm hearing is that place ain't got Unity yet.
Yeah. Cinder snorts and says, I agree. Everywhere in the high desert's at risk. Unity's gonna fuck everybody here.
I think High-Rise is okay.
No. High rise will fall just like all the rest. They just may be last.
I don't think you've been to High-Rise, friend.
Yeah,
Have you
but I've been
fallen
to
through the
Unity. Have you
quicksand?
been to Unity? Have you seen what they're doing? Do you know the tech that they've got? I have some clues I don't think you do.
She blinks. I don't think you've fallen through quicksand.
Yeah, well, I've seen repulsor pods that don't give a fuck about quicksand.
It's,
At
Do
this
you know what a
Iliad-
repulsor pod is?
Iliad actually will stab his claw into the table. Unity will not succeed so long as I remain operational. Now let's get going.
Cinder rolls his eyes and says, good luck with that one-man army.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. You know, you got that big gun. They got a lot more.
Oh, we're gonna take down Unity. Let's go.
Hey, I'm all for tearing down Unity, but it would take smarts, and I hadn't seen any of that in this group.
Steel just chuckles. He's like,
Ow.
no. It's Unity's a lot of things. Vindictive, evil, clever, organized, smart. One thing they're not is dumb. High Rise might be able to resist. Hell, Unity might not even care. What's a single post in an ocean that it owns? He just shakes his head and he's like, no. High Rise can stand probably on its own for as long as it wants. I don't think Unity much cares. The only one who really knows that is Domino. And he's like, huh, well, that's a problem for all future us. Now, if you guys are going to be able to kick off on the road, you're going to want to get out early. Gather up what things you need. Make sure all your batteries are charged up. And you got enough ammunition to hit the road and water. Take a couple solar cows with the extra water they have in their tanks. Sound good?
Appreciate it, Steel. You know I will be in the area.
I know. Well, I mean, the solar cows are yours after all.
Your hospitality has been great, regardless.
Well, thanks for that. I'll let you four know.
Ranking.
The
Just
cranking
what's going
finger.
on over there?
Bring the sass to my table.
How the hell did you do that? Cole starts just trying to do. I don't understand it.
The cranking finger.
You're tough.
Cute. That's cute.
There's a back and forth over here in the corner on the chat wall. We can. Oh, Jesus. All right. We will begin that travel transit up into High Rise next week. And I'll have a couple encounters ready for that. And then we can. Everyone has Silt Striders, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. Because, yeah, those will be needed to be able to get. No. All right.
You
Well,
don't?
Wait,
Argo does not have the strength to use them.
oh, right.
Oh.
It's a wet noodle.
Yes.
Well, he gets to ride WTF.
yeah.
Correct.
We can do that.
He gets to be in the baby carrier.
What's
Little baby
WTF strength?
WTFs.
It's like that one that you tie to the front of yourself. The baby's just hanging off of it.
Yeah, yeah. Rose looks like
Remember
a
what-
great night up there.
What do you need for the Striders? I can't remember.
Let me pull it up. It's
25.
It
Says
wasn't a
Whiskey
lot of
has,
strength.
dreads.
What the hell?
yeah.
Oh, well,
Treads. Okay.
that's gonna, yeah. You probably can use treads.
That should be an issue.
Yeah, just gotta need his flag
With
up.
the guides, yeah, we can.
Well, yeah. Well, I think his. Yeah. Whiskey's movement value is 9.5.
Yeah.
So. Eventually, it shall be 10 with enough agility.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Make some great strides in these long ass encounters.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and all right. So next
That's
week we'll
another
start.
idea, Tim.
What?
We need fucking rules for upgrades that don't rely on character for robots and shit.
Sorry, say it again. Discord made you digital.
Upgrades for robots.
Yeah.
There ought to be rules for that, like there are for adding cyber implants, but like directly upgrading like capabilities like agility without having to be luck of the roll for character advancement.
Oh, yeah. That's just adding that's just parts. Like different parts
Okay.
all have different specs. That's the easy one to do.
Well, there you go, Argos.
I've actually already been doing that with all of the custom monsters I've been creating for the high desert. Like a lot of them have those stats on their component parts. Like the crabs
Sweet.
had they actually have like the legs from the robotic component section that give you an agility score. So I'm making sure that
Yep.
each time I build the robots out, they have like a stat attribute tied to the limb. So this way you can do that. You can upgrade it. And then we'll definitely do things like tune up. Like you can tighten it up a little bit, probably with like a D10 value.
Sweet.
And so this way it stays within its capabilities, because like the difference is that they can't, like, a robot can't do weightlifting to get stronger.
Well, obviously not. Yeah.
Whereas like a player can, like, I go train for a couple of weeks and like picks up something, like we can easily pick up a stat here or there.
Yep. Cool.
All right. So that is the Mutant Epoch High Desert Session 7. I don't know what we're going to name this one. And we're going
combat.
to... Yeah, no combat.
We could call it marital strife.
What do you
if
mean,
you guys
marital
were
strife? Rabbits.
fixating on that.
What do you mean? God, all rabbits.
Species.
There be rabbits here.
Speciesism's alive and well.
Species of rabbits. Bunny. The bunny episode. Just stupid. You can get the expansions at themutantepoch.com or over at drivethrurpg.com.
Here comes Peter Cottontail. Since they were cottontails.
Cotton yes.
Popping mad.
Hopping down the bunny.
Hopping mad.
That's
Mad.
good.
Perfect.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh God. Dumb. Please join us in the Discord.
Spinosaurus.
Links in the description for that. You can follow Mutant Lord over at X, Facebook. If you go again on the main website, he has links to all his stuff. Instagram, and he posts updates. Right now, he's like posting updates out of the book themselves for a lot of different casts and backgrounds. And we've got a High Desert supplemental coming out soon-ish. And that's going to have zap guns in it and a bit of the history of the zap guns, the stats for them, some art for them. I've already been posting some of the test cover art I'd be doing for it over on the Discord. And that is only going to be one of several High Desert supplementals I'll be doing. And those will all be going up for free. And initially, until we do like a combination of them all, then we'll probably put them up for like a couple bucks. And then we'll see where it goes from there. All right, guys, and thank you all for playing, and everybody have a good night. I'll see you next week.
Next week.